The clan system is going to be seeing some rather large changes coming in the Season of the Drifter. Additionally, an old mission for the most powerful weapon in the game has been made available for everyone all the time, and we get a sneak peek at some of the other quality of life changes that are going to be coming in the future. What's going on, Guardians? My name is the Black Link, and today is January 31st, 2019, the last day of the first month of the year. And with it, the last Bungie weekly update, this week at Bungie for January. And as usual, in this video, we're going to be covering some of the biggest bits of information that came in this week's TWAB. Now, this was already a really busy week for the world of Destiny 2. We had the release of Update 2.1.4, which came with some big fat patch notes full of massive changes that came to many classes' supers, as well as several different weapon types, which in some cases, like the rapid-fire frame Vice Scout rifles, have completely changed the overall standing of some weapons in Crucible. But as you Guardians know by now, generally on the week of or immediately after a big patch update, the TWAB is usually pretty sparse on details, and that's certainly true for this one. But there are a few things that are really important to cover, so let's go ahead and dive on in. First things first, the Whisper quest is now available every single day. This quest was previously hidden on weekends, where you would have to go to the Lost Oasis sector on Io and then wait for the Corrupted Blight public event. You could do this from Friday to Sunday, and by heading in there, defeating a couple of enemies that would spawn during that public event, you would gain access to a limited, extremely difficult mission where you were tasked with completing some puzzles and defeating several waves of enemies before taking out a few bosses within a span of 19 minutes. Doing so rewarded you with what many consider to be the most powerful weapon in the game, the Whisper of the Worm exotic sniper rifle. And like I said before, this used to be a limited time quest. You could only do it from the weekend starting on Friday and going until Sunday. Well, that's no longer the case. With Update 2.1.4, this quest is now available every day of the week. You can activate it now from any Lost Oasis public event, so if you're somebody out there who hasn't gotten your hands on Whisper of the Worm yet, now is a perfect opportunity for you to dive on in. I hear Striker Titans have a pretty easy time clearing that even by themselves now. Good luck, Guardians. But moving on, we're going to be seeing some rather big changes coming to the clan system when Season of the Drifter, Season 6 starts. And we get to learn about them here in this week's TWAB. Here's what Bungie had to say. We're returning to the Destiny 2 launch system for gaining clan experience. Go play activities in the game and you will earn clan XP and level up your clan. As a result, daily clan bounties are no longer needed and have been removed from the game. There are now 3 weekly bounties that require playing with your clanmates to complete. There will always be 1 PvE, 1 raid, and 1 PvP weekly bounty from Hawthorne. They reward legendary gear and a big chunk of clan XP. As your clan levels its banner, the rewards you receive from these bounties grow. At rank 3, you earn mod components when completing a weekly bounty. At rank 4, you earn enhancement cores when completing a weekly bounty. At rank 6, your clan will unlock a 4th weekly bounty. And if I can just stop right there, I'm really happy to hear this news. They retuned the way you earned XP with clans a while back. Moving away from a system where you just logged on while you were a member of a clan and basically completed any activities out in the world space to get EXP for your clan, and focused it more on completing some of the bounties that Hawthorne had available. Now, my issue with the bounty system was that it basically required that you played with 1 or 2 clan members with you, which isn't always going to be a viable solution. Overall, I much preferred the D2 Year 1 function of basically just joining a clan and then going out, and then you earn EXP for your clan by completing all kinds of challenges, whether that's Nightfall or PvP or raids or whatever. So I'm very happy that they're moving primarily back to that system, but they're leaving us the 3 weekly clan bounties that will require that you play with another clanmate. I think this is a pretty good compromise for the system, and if I were to venture a guess here, I would say that one of the reasons for why they're making this change now is probably because they noticed a lot of clans, in comparison to previous seasons, not coming anywhere near reaching the max clan level, because, a lot of people have stopped playing Destiny 2, and a lot of times, folks just don't have enough of their clan members actively all online at the same time to get some of this stuff done. So I'm very happy that they're moving back to a system where you can just log on, play the game for the most part, and earn EXP for your clan. And if you do happen to play with your clanmates, well, there are the weekly bounties there for that. Good compromise. But alright, moving on, they have another surprise here for the clan system. We also wanted to briefly talk about the Tier 5 perk for Season 6. The perk reads, Crucible and Strike catalysts have an increased drop rate when playing with clanmates. For those of you who haven't found all of the available catalysts, you'll have a better chance to find the ones you're missing. If you already have them all, lucky you, we plan to release a few more from our Year 1 reserve during the Season of the Drifter for you to chase. They won't be released day 1 of Season 6, but keep your eyes on the patch notes for availability. I wanted to include that there, 1, because it's cool to get the catalyst, but 2, because we're finally learning about some of the exotic catalysts that have been in the game for a long time that we've known about, that we really haven't heard anything from since summer of 2018. Yeah, remember Arms Week and all the catalysts that were supposedly going to be tied to that, stuff like the Rat King. I do believe the Prospector was supposed to have a catalyst that was tied to that. Hardlight was supposed to have a catalyst that was tied to that. Stuff that was literally teased in summer of last year that we haven't heard from. So I was really happy to hear that we're going to be seeing some of those catalysts, hopefully, during the Season of the Drifter when Joker's Wild goes live later on in March. They do go on, of course, to say that these aren't going to be available on day 1 of the Season of the Drifter. But hopefully we won't have to wait too much longer for some of those catalysts that we've been hoping for. As always, it's just something to look forward to. Next up, we learn a bit more about how some powerful bounties and items are going to be changing when next season rolls around. In particular, concerning powerful things like ethereal keys from the raid as well as Iron Banner bounties. First up, ethereal keys from the Last Wish raid will have a maximum stack size of 5. If you currently have a stockpile, make sure you turn them in before the end of the season, as any keys over the cap of 5 will be removed. Then, Iron Banner bounties from Season of the Forge will expire and be removed from player inventory. Iron Banner bounties are being refreshed for Season 6 with new objectives, which we will speak to closer to the Season of the Drifter. Which, as we covered in last week's TWAB video, they're basically really trying to stop you from holding on to those powerful bounties in between seasons for the early light gain, so make sure you get rid of those before the Season of the Drifter starts. Finally, we've got some mentions about some bug fixes that Bungie's currently looking at. A few things broke with update 2.1.4. With stuff like compound ether and unstable radiolaria, they've identified an issue that prevents those 2 items from dropping from Fallen for the basic sniper rifle frame and for the basic bow frame. They're currently investigating deploying a fix for that. They're also still looking into the issue of missing weapon frames. It looks like they might have identified a cause and they're working on a solution. And then for those of you who are having some weird happenings in the Last Words Draw questline, some players have reported completing the conversation mission, which is at the end of the quest, and not receiving their last word. Bungie is aware of the issue and they are investigating. But they state that some players encountering this issue have reported that restarting the mission and progressing more slowly resolved the issue. So I guess you're just completing it a little bit too quickly. Hopefully they can get all that stuff worked out. But alright Guardians, that's pretty much it for the biggest bits of news contained in this week's issue of the Bungie Weekly blog, This Week at Bungie. I told you it was not a very meaty one this time around. Nonetheless, there is some pretty good information here. I already talked about the clan changes, I'm very happy with those, and I am psyched to hear that we're finally going to be hearing more about those exotic catalysts that have been MIA for several months. Hopefully some of these new exotics are going to get catalysts too. I'm looking at you, the last word. But alright Guardians, that is it for this one. Those are my thoughts. Be sure to leave me yours down in the comment section below. If you'd like to read the rest of the TWAB, you'll be able to find a link to it down in the description box as well. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, make sure you subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest stuff we're putting out. But alright Guardians, that is it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.